Hello everyone, welcome to our next session in Python playlist. In this session, I will be teaching you about conditional statement. Alright, so I have created a Jupyter file, IPYNB file, and I have already named it conditional statement. Alright, and first we'll see some basic, and after that, I'll be taking you to few basic questions using the conditional statement. So first of all, let me tell you about conditional statement. There are let me just tell you one more concept before we start. So by default, if you see it here, it is code, right, into Jupyter. We can change it to markdown. And what is markdown? So it's like if you want to give heading like this basics, so you can simply put one hash and write whatever you want. Like I'm writing my name, for example. So after that, just say shift enter. So you can see it's just giving you the heading, right? So and like double click on it. So you will be in a position to edit it. So if you go with double hash, it will be with a smaller font, right? A smaller font size. If you go with three, again a smaller one. So I hope you understood. So if you want into your Jupyter notebook, you want to give heading to the code, or just you want to write the question and then write the code of it. So better you use markdown first and then convert the next cell into code and write down the code. Okay, by default it's code only. All right, so let me again take you to the basic and make you understand what are the conditional statement that we have in Python. So there are three conditional statement that we have: if, elif, or let's just go with if else, and then last one is elif. All right, so let me just write hash and hash here as well, and okay, shift enter. So these are three conditional statement that we have in Python language. What are these and how they are used? I will explain you one by one. So let me just take a cell of code. You can see here, I will be in a position to write it. So as the name suggests, guys, into normal English also, when we speak, what we say is if, and then we put up the condition. Like for example, if I'm saying, if I have fruit, I will eat it. If I have friends, I will go and play with them. So this is what condition. The condition is given, right? So based on condition, you will do something. And then there's one more possibility that, with if you're saying else as well. So like for example, I am saying, if students are there, I will teach, else I will sleep. So can you see here? I have a condition. And if that condition is false, I will be going to else part. Getting this is what we call as conditional statement. And there's a third possibility that you have multiple condition. Like I am saying, if students are there, I will teach, else if I am feeling bored, I will watch movie, if else I will go and play cricket. Can you see there are three conditions now? So I have condition. So if you have multiple conditions, you will be using elif. I hope you understood. With programming example, we will see. First, let's see the basic example. Now, I have a variable, for example, a equals to 5. Let me just enlarge it a bit. A equals to 5. And I want to check if the a value, is it greater than 10 or not. Okay, so what I can do is, if a is greater than 10, I will simply say, okay, print the value, print that, a is greater than 10. Let me just execute this. And if you see, after executing, nothing is getting printed. Now what's happening? Let me tell you. A equals to 5, this will happen. And now it is taking the condition. 5 is greater than 10. The condition is false. So if the condition is false, it won't go inside. All right. And then one more important concept I wanted to tell you. You might have seen what I have done is, after writing the condition into F, I have written colon. So what's happening is, first try to understand the syntax of if. So if we write if, it's a keyword, and then we give condition inside it. All right, and we know what condition returns. It returns true or false. In operators we have seen about this, right? So if a is greater than 10, if this condition is true, it will return true, and if it's true, it will go inside if. All right, and if the condition is false, it won't go inside if. And if you see, after it I have written colon, and as soon as I press enter, you can see there are few spaces left, right? It's by default done by our Jupyter notebook. Now what is this? This concept is called as indentation. It is required, of course it is required. People coming from C++ Java background, if they remember, whenever you wanted to write anything inside if, we used to give curly bracket open, curly bracket close, right? So Python says I don't want those curly brackets. So instead of curly brackets, Python says I will go with the concept of indentation. The concept of indentation is simply after every block, like if, else, we'll be saying loops as well. So you required few things inside if. So for that case, you need to give colon after writing this if, and whatever you want inside if, you will write after few lines. It's a tab space basically. You don't have to worry about the giving the spaces, it will be given directly, okay, by the IDE. Right now we are using Jupyter is giving that. All right, so you can see now this print statement will be considered as part of if. But if you write like this, it simply means you don't have this print inside if, it is outside if. All right, so you can see by default it should be inside. All right, now I want some other statement which I don't want to be part of if but outside if. So what you can do is simply press backspace. Now for example, if I'm writing print statement and I'm writing outside if, so you can simply see after like executing, I'm getting outside if. All right, so I'm just commenting this and making you understand the answer of why we are getting no answer even after program is getting executed. So what's happening is, again, see, 5 is greater than 10, condition is getting false. So as the condition is false, it won't go inside if, and it won't print the statement. All right, now let me change the value of a to 15. Now what will happen is a will get 15. Is 15 greater than 10? Condition is satisfied, and it will print 15 is greater than 10. All right, let me just show you. So you can see the condition is true and it is printing. We are getting the output as 15 is greater than 10. Is that clear? Now you can see, uncomment this and read on it. So you can see it is going inside if, printing this, and coming outside if and printing this as well, the remaining code outside if. Is that clear? I hope you understood the concept of if. All right, now guys, let me show you the else as well. I'm writing else, and else will not be the part of if, it will be outside if. All right, and of course we need to give colon because we want to print something inside else, right? So the concept of indentation will also be implemented here. So as soon as you put colon after else, the next code will be written after few spaces, and you can simply understand that this print statement is now part of your else. That's how your interpreter will also see. Now I'm writing a is not greater, the smaller than, right? So I will write smaller than 10. So let me just execute this and show you the output and decode it for you. Now you can see for this case what's happening is 15 is greater than 10, the condition is satisfied, and it is going into if and printing this 15 is greater than 10. It's just common sense, right? If it's going into if, it should not go into else, right? Now for example, if I'm saying if students are there, I will teach, otherwise I will watch movie, else I will watch movie. So in this case, it cannot be the case that I'm teaching you guys also I'm watching the movie, right? It will be either, right? Same goes here as well. So if the condition of if is satisfied, it will go into if, and in that case it won't go into else. So this part won't get executed. All right, now I'm changing the condition to, again, a equals to 5. Now what will happen here is, so you can see 5 is greater than 10, condition is false, so it won't go inside if, and in that case it will go into else and print that 5 is smaller than 10. You can see here the else part is getting executed and we're getting the output as 5 is smaller than 10. Is that clear? I hope you understood the basic concept of the if and else. Let me just add up one more cell and show you something more. Now for example, I want to check whether a number is even or odd. All right, so let me just comment this. Take a number from user and print it's even or odd. That's the program that we need to write. Take a number from the user first. Let's say no equals to, I will take a number like this, int of input. You know how to take the input, right? So right, enter a number. Now after taking the number, what I want to do is I want to check whether that number is even or odd. And if you remember, into operator we have seen one concept, one important operator, that is mod operator, right? So I will use that mod operator. So you can simply understand even numbers are divisible by 2, right? So I will check if the number, given number, mod 2 equal to 0. What does this condition means? If the value of this expression is 0, so this condition will be true. So in this case we will write, okay, again see, I have written colon, and as soon as I press enter, it's by default inside if is indented. So I will write print, whereas write no is even, right? Is divisible by. And the other thing that is possibility is else, right? So we don't have to write the condition again for else, because if the number is not even, we are sure that number is what? It's a odd number, right? So we'll simply print that your no is, of course we need to put in this into single quotes, is odd. That's it. So let's run this and check. Let's take a number. I'm going with 14 for example. So what's happening here? Let's decode it. So we got the number as 14. 14 mod 2 is 0. So 0 equals to 0. The condition is true. It's going inside and printing 14 is even. And is, as it already went into if, it won't go into else part. Let's just rerun it again. And let me just give it 13. 13 is an odd number, right? So what's happening here? Try to understand. 13 mod 2. The answer is 1. 1 equals to 0. No, the condition is false. So if as the condition is false, it is going to else and printing that 13 is odd. I hope you understood this. All right, so let's go to the next. And here now you can see, take the age from the user and print whether he is eligible to vote or not. Right, so in India the voting age is 18, right? So let's take a number. Let's take the age from the user. Age equals to int of input, and we'll write enter your age. All right, after user enters his age, we need to check the condition. What should be the condition now? If age is greater than or equal to 18, if this condition is true, colon, we need to come inside and simply print what? Print that you are eligible to vote. All right, and now I want else. So backspace, press backspace and come outside and write your else, and else will be written like this: you are not eligible to vote. All right, so let's run this and just check. For example, if I'm putting the age to be 30, you can see the condition is satisfied. 30 is greater than or equal to 18, and it's printing you are eligible to vote, right? And as if it's going into F, won't go into else. And let's say one more example. For say I'm saying my age to be 12, so you can see that this condition is false. For that reason, it's coming to else and printing you are not eligible to vote. Understood, guys? So that was all about your if and else. Now coming to if else and elif. Okay, so there can be a possibility that instead of two conditions you have multiple conditions. Like for this, I'm taking an example, like take percentage from the user and print first class if percentage is greater than or equal to 60, print second class if percentage is in between 60 and 40, and print fail if percentage is less than 40. Now I have three conditions to check, right? So we can't simply go with if else now, because if we check for the condition to be 60 or less than 60, we can't simply print first class and second class, because if it's less than 60, it can be like 50, 40, 30, 20 also, right? So we have to check at least two conditions here. So let's take the percentage from the user for this case, and let's just go with the float value because percentage can take fraction value as well, right? So float of input, say enter your percentage. All right, after taking the percentage from the user, what we need to do is checking the condition. Let's just take the first condition. Okay, whether the value of PER is greater than equal to 60. If this condition is true, you can simply print that, you're just, let's just print the first class. All right, now you see we can't simply write else. We want the second condition, right? So second condition will be the first if. For that reason, Python says use the keyword elif. So condition will be with if or elif. All right. So elif simply means what? Else and if. So Python combined else and if and has given us the elif. So let's see the second condition. So you can see, guys, if the percentage is greater than equal to 60, it will go, this condition will be true. It will come to elif only if the value of PER is less than 60. Do you agree? Now we need to check that, it's less than 60 already, but yeah, it should be greater than 40. If it's greater than 40, we can simply say that it is, coming to second class. So we need to check the condition for this, whether the PER value is greater than equal to 60 or 40 or not, right? So if this is the case, we will simply print that you are actually what? Second class. The last case, guys, last case can, now you have a choice. You can write elif again, and if PER is less than 40 and print the KT or fail, or you simply have a choice to go with else now, right? Because try to understand, into this else it will only come if the percentage is less than 40, and we know that less than 40 simply means that, that person is failed. Let's just check for all the condition. I'm entering up the percentage here. Now, for example, if I'm saying percentage to be 75, you can see it is printing the first class, right? Because 75 is greater than equal to 60, condition satisfied is going into the if and printing first class. It won't go into any elif or else now in this case. Now, I'm just putting up 55. You can see here, now what's happening is this condition is false. So it's going into elif and checking out the condition. 55 is greater than equal to 40. The condition is satisfied. It's going into this and printing the second class. Let's just go and check for the third as well. Now putting up percentage to be 30, for example. So you can see the both the conditions are false, going to else and printing that the fail. Understood, guys? This is what we have elif. So not just two or three, guys. You can have n number of conditions and n number of elif, elif, elif. But the first one is if. Then you have all elif, 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 and the last condition, if you want, you can have it to be else. I hope you got. This is what we have as conditional statement in Python. I hope you understood if, else, and elif. That's it for this session. In next session, we'll be saying about the advanced data types that we have, like list, tuple, and dictionary. After that, we will be starting with our loops. Thank you.